Hi everyone, this is Startup Bright and we're here to talk all things startups related. This is the time and place where startup founders talk about their teams, explain their products and services, introduce their ideas, and talk about their goals. Hello, today we have Robert with us and he will present his media advertising 360-degree company. He has very interesting technology to present to us, and I was happy that he agreed to interview with Startup Bright. We met at Kodu Startup event, right?
Yep.
Right, and I got very interested in what you said during the pitch, and that's how we decided to invite you and come here for an interview with us. Do you want to go with your official 5-minute speech?
Yeah, let me, if you don't mind, just give you a quick overview and in the form of a pitch. And first of all, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. So my name is Robert Bruza, and I am the CEO of Advrtas. We are a media technology company startup in Los Angeles. And kind of in a nutshell, the way we like to frame it is we're finishing what virtual reality started. And what we mean by that is we're giving scale to 360-degree media content. Virtual reality introduced us to 360-degree format. It actually made it commercially viable, but it got trapped inside the headset. Today, 360-degree media, that is the idea that like when you're inside virtual reality, you can look left, right, and all around. It surrounds you. Today, you don't need a headset. 360-degree media can live on almost any consumer device. So whether it's a desktop, it's your mobile phone, OTT, game console, even retail displays, they can all support 360-degree content. So the evolution of 360-degree content outside of the headset represents a major shift in media technology and where media content's going for consumer engagement. Because 360-degree media is also virtual reality, as you know, augmented reality, and holographic content, all formats that are coming our way. They all take 360-degree content to build. Even more so, consumer devices that are rapidly emerging, things like wearables, smart homes, smart cars, all of this kind of future consumer technology is also going to take these more advanced forms of media content. So 360-degree media paves the way and has a product roadmap that is really taking us into the future, and that's kind of what has been engaging us. On top of all of that, and really what is probably the most important aspect about this new format, is it's way more engaging than video, display, or any other format up to this point. In fact, Nielsen Media did a study where they showed, when they compared it to video, they showed that 360-degree media had 28 times higher brand recall for content, message recall, purchase intent, action. It was amazing in terms of what it can do. And it makes sense, right? Because you think about when we went from black and white TV to color TV, it was a better way to experience content. Well, 360 is kind of the same thing, right? So this idea of your ability to look at content, simply by moving your device and looking all around, up and down, gives you a lot more content to look at, and it gives you context. So it's definitely more engaging, right? And so just like black and white TV, we didn't go back after we went to color. I don't see us going back to 2D, right? So that's kind of the basis of where we're at. More engaging, the future of technology. The problem is 360-degree media today is not scalable. In other words, it's too expensive. You can't distribute it, and you can't track it in terms of its performance and analytics. What it's missing is an ecosystem, right? So for this media format to thrive as the same for all the others that are coming, they need a new ecosystem. Something in which creative content creators can create cost effectively and quickly, right? Media people can distribute using existing media channels and existing platforms. Marketing specialists can track it, and then networks can traffic it. So that's the whole ecosystem that's missing in order to support this. So that's where we come in, right? So Advrtas is solving that problem. We have a unique and now patented web-based delivery technology that we're combining with a content management platform devoted just for creating 360-degree content, which allows creative people to use existing 2D assets. You don't even need 360-degree content to create these amazing 360-degree experiences like the one you just saw, and this one too, built 100% out of, and here you can hold it if you want to, 100% out of 2D content, and in about 20 minutes. So not only are you getting more higher engagement, you're getting a cost-effective and quick way to create this content. Plus, because of our technology, it can be delivered across all existing programmatic channels, right? So the media buyers and the media specialists don't have to do anything different. Exactly how they're delivering content today is exactly the same way, because our technology is HTML5 WebGL based, right? So it'll play just about anywhere. And then additionally, we have proprietary analytics that specifically track 360-degree media. So all of that together gives 360-degree media scale, because that gets carried through the existing ad networks and the publishers and the exchanges. They don't have to do anything either. So we're kind of created that pipeline for not only 360-degree media, but a wide range of advanced media formats, right? That's the ecosystem we're building. So kind of in a nutshell, and getting back to, I guess, just a more of a quick summary, we're commercially viable today. We've been market testing for the last 2 years, trying to develop the product. We're currently raising funding to launch our SaaS platform. Our SaaS platform is what's going to give us scale. We've been working with people like Progressive Insurance and Netflix and Jameson Whiskey and a whole list of other Air France, developing just custom projects for web experiences, mobile experiences, ad experiences. But now we've created the SaaS platform that is a self-service tool that allows these companies, these creative agencies, these media buying agencies, these publishers to create this content on their own and then distribute it through our technology. And that's really, so the fundraising that we're doing right now is to gain traction with our SaaS platform en route to growing out phase 2, which will be the growth of our pipeline and our network, in which we will control the whole end-to-end process for advanced media content. So you're probably going to ask these questions anyways, but competitor and all that other stuff, I can go into that too, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a really good presentation, especially when you have the product to show.
Yeah, it speaks for itself. It's,
yeah,
you know,
you cannot beat that.
Yeah.
So my understanding is that you already have the product built.
Yeah.
How did you get to this point?
It took about 3 years. We started from scratch. This didn't exist. We actually we're the first company to ever do a programmatically delivered 360-degree ad unit. We did that back in early 2015. There's a couple other companies out there at the same time, but we beat them by a couple months. So this is all new. Nobody's done this before, and the ability to do it with 2D assets just isn't being done. But we see it as the future. And so it took us 3 years to develop the technology. It's all 100% owned by us, 100% proprietary, no plugins, no open source. We created it, built it from the ground up. And then we have the patented elements of how we interact with devices and the technology within emerging devices.
So how difficult would be for me, let's say, if I have a website or blog or any web asset, how difficult it would be for me to embed your system in my web asset?
Super easy, because the output for this is a code snippet or an ad tag, if you will, if it's going to do it for advertising. It's just one string of code that you drop in an iframe or a div anywhere on a website, within a programmatic delivery platform, within an app, and you can basically place it anywhere and plays just like you would any other website, desktop or mobile.
And where does the file live? Does it need to be on your platform or to be delivered?
It doesn't need to live on our platform. We do have a solution where you can actually download and host it yourself, but most people just
prefer to use
us to host it. And we have a global network of servers and CDN networks that really help facilitate that responsiveness that you saw, that clarity.
Yeah, that was my next point, my next question.
Is a result of our network. This is all being delivered in real time across our network, right? And you see that beautiful responsiveness and clarity and touch sensitivity. I didn't even show you this. I click this button here. It's a one-click VR. It splits the screen, and I can drop this in this headset.
I see.
And I can experience the content just like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say that if you allow, individuals or marketers or people that have web assets to kind of host the file themselves, the whole experience may be not that great, simply because they don't have the CDN in front of it and so on and so on. But you said that you kind of encourage these people to use your platform and your existing network.
Yeah, it's just easier, especially if you're going to do it at scale. If you just want to download one piece of 360 content, put it on your website, and that's the only place it's going to live, it may make sense just to download the file. Yeah. And we have our SaaS platform is a subscription-based model, so you pay a monthly fee just to create content, and you can host it locally, and then there's a fee if you want to use it for other things like marketing and advertising, where you want to do it at scale because it costs us to host the technology. So it's kind of just like a traffic fee, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And on the SaaS platform that you're currently developing, are you going to provide, or you providing already some metrics for marketers and other people to kind of understand the engagement, or how long, for example, I have been watching or using the 360 media? Do you track this kind of stuff?
We do. That's an important part of that ecosystem, right? Because you want to be able to create, you want to be able to distribute, you want to be able to track. So we have, our CTO comes from Nielsen Media, and he's brought with him the ability to create our analytics. In fact, he built our analytics engine from scratch. So we have some proprietary analytics for tracking specifically 360-degree engagement. Because what's interesting is when somebody comes across our ad unit, right, and they're looking at it, they can do this all day long, and they've never touched the ad. But they're engaged.
Yeah.
And we're tracking that, and we can tell Beefeater, or we can tell Progressive Insurance, or we can tell Netflix how long they were looking and engaged with that content. Yeah. So that's an important analytic tracking piece of information we currently don't have, and that is awesome for ad blindness, right? People ad fraud, because you don't get click bots anymore, and you got people who don't want to touch an ad because they're afraid it's going to go through, right? Or any type of content, right? So that's kind of a great advantage, and that is the analytics that we offer that nobody else does, and it really does help.
So I suppose your CTO is not the only one that is on your team. Yeah. Who else is on your team?
So we got two other key people. One is Laura, who comes from our a big digital marketing background, subscription-based marketing, and she's really helped guide us through the evolution from product development to an actual SaaS model, right? And she's kind of spearheading that. So she's great. She's got 20 years or 25 years of experience in digital marketing, how to engage consumers and all that kind of stuff. And then we have a lead product manager who comes from Yahoo, and he led the product development for new ad product and new marketing product for Yahoo for their development. For their development group. So that's kind of what makes up the core team, and then we have other people that have been helping us, who we hope to bring along and continue to contribute to our team.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like you already have big customers or clients. What is your marketing strategy? How do you find these people?
Well, a big part of what we're doing is we're connecting with people on a personal basis, because a lot of our development was trying to figure out what our product was, right? And what problem are we solving? We had some great technology.
Is any other
startup? Right? So we weren't, exactly, right? I mean, once you figure out the problem, you kind of take it for granted, but it takes a little bit to figure out the problem sometimes, Sometimes it's obvious, but sometimes it's like, I got something that's really cool, but what problem am I solving? So the market testing that we did really was the result of us physically reaching out to key contacts in the industry, mostly brands, and mostly on the brand innovation side, right? People looking for new product and that kind of stuff. And then on the agency side, right? So we've dealt with some of the biggest agencies in the world, Dentsu, Mindshare, PhD.
And you're talking advertising agencies.
Yeah, these are ad agencies, right? Where we're saying, hey, this is a great way to engage consumers. Will you sit down with us? And they have, and they do. And a lot of them have run campaigns with us or done specific marketing initiatives.
How big is the market? Do you know?
Well, there's two markets we kind of consider. Okay. One is the big, broad market, right? So in the beginning of this conversation, I said, 360 is paving the way for an advanced media future, right? That market, which is made up of mobile, smart homes, cars, wearables, all VR, AR, is about an $800 billion market, right? Because that's where content is going to fulfill all those devices, right? The near-term market, the one that we're focused on, is strictly digital marketing and advertising, right? Focusing on brands, publishers, and agencies, media agencies and creative agencies, and that's more like a $100 to $300 billion marketplace, right? So,
and how did you come up with that specific niche? It's pretty big to call.
Yeah, well, it's like, how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. That was the result of the market testing, right? Okay. So what we learned in that process was, where did this resonate the most, right? Who was saying, yes, I got to have this, versus, oh, that's nice, but I don't know if the time is right. Marketing and advertising, they're suffering, right? Yeah. I think by 2020, 75% of the population will have a mobile device. And I read another figure where 86% of consumers don't remember seeing an ad unit on a mobile device. So that level of disconnect between everyone going to mobile, yet nobody engaging with ad content, really left open a door for us to go in and say, hey, we've got a better way to engage consumers on mobile devices.
I can understand that, because on all these websites and web pages, I'm truly ad blind.
We all are, right?
Yeah. I'm even more guilty than that, because I put on my Raspberry Pi a Pi hole that strips out all of the advertising.
Ad blocker. Yeah.
So that's a real problem, because if you have a business, right, and you want to be heard, and you have good message and good product, it's becoming really noisy out there, and really hard to convey the message and say, hey, I really have a solution. For that.
It is hard. I agree with you. It's a there's a lot of people interested in it, but there's a lot of confusion out there too, and that's why we're focusing on marketing content as well as just regular content. So we're a content management platform. We're just not an ad solution. We're a content management platform, but where we're seeing traction is on the ad side, specifically mobile devices, because as you saw, you can move your device. Everybody's trying to figure out the ad problem. Blindness, blocking, fraud, all that kind of stuff. Our position, our point of view is, ads aren't bad. Actually, ads, if you look at the Super Bowl, ads can be awesome, and people desire ads if it's done right and it's served to the right audience, somebody who's interested, right? The problem we have is we mass apply it, and there's half the population that isn't interested in the product, and a lot of times on mobile devices it's not done very well, so we're annoyed by it. But ad is just content.
You
Right?
have to add on top of that that people are not educated to receive digital ads.
Yeah.
What I mean is, for example, I still hear people being afraid that Alexa is constantly listening to them,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. You know,
Right.
Alexa is listening to the keyword Alexa and then starts
Right.
translating, because there is no company yet in the world that can sustain that much traffic if they're constantly listening to all
a great point,
conversations
yeah.
that we have.
Yeah,
right?
you're right. Yeah.
So, but people are afraid, and they're not ready for digital advertising that is happening right now.
Yep.
To be more targeted, to be more
Useful.
focused, useful,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah. Valuable, right?
valuable,
Yeah.
and everybody complains, including me,
Right.
about, you know, Google is following everywhere my steps and knows everything I do. But that's the only way for Google or any marketer or any company that wants to present their product to actually present it to somebody that is looking for
Yeah.
that product and that has the need for that
Yeah.
specific product.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to watch ads for I don't know, I'm going to use scuba diving, although it sounds interesting. I'm not really into scuba diving.
Right.
Why would I be watching
Yeah.
advertising about
Yeah.
scuba diving?
Exactly.
But if it's anything in software development or tinkering electronics, like
Yeah.
I haven't seen an ad about that yet.
Right? You would be right, and you would be all in. Right?
Yeah.
Laura, our head of marketing, says this all the time. Where do you think all this content is coming from, and how do you think it's getting paid for? If you're not watching ads, right, and you're getting free content, who do you think's paying for that? Where do you think that's coming from? There has to be a revenue source somewhere. So either you pay or you endure an ad. Now, it doesn't justify bad ads. It doesn't justify ads that stalk you. It doesn't justify ads that are not appropriate for you, that don't fit you. I think that's completely intolerable. But the way we get there is with things like this. Because our ability to track user engagement, we're tracking over 72 data touch points in this interactivity, right? So I can tell what you're looking at, how long you're looking at. If there were choices here, I could see, are you looking at that, or are you looking at that? And I can start making determinations for that. I'm getting more data to personalize this content so that you're more happy with the content you're looking at, right? You may not like Beefeater, but if I have a choice of different alcohols and I see you looking at a different one, right, whatever it is, Absolute or something like that, by the time you come around, I could switch the whole ad out and focus on Absolute, which would be a happier experience for you because it's more relevant. Right. So that's how we get there, is with advanced media formats. We do on an XY axis, right? So we do that on the phone. We also do it once it's in the headset. So we have that, we know where that placement is based on location in terms of where your head is and what's in view. What we don't do is pupil eye movement, right? So if I'm looking at you and I go like this,
you cannot track that.
I'm not tracking that. There are companies that do that, and we imagine that we'll incorporate that into our technology, but that's the kind of data that you can get to help make content more personal for people. Right. That's the future.
Yeah. So you mentioned that in this round you're looking for funding to scale your SaaS or build it.
Well, the SaaS is launched, but we need to grow it. We need to go through that first phase of early adoption, right? We need to go from 0 to 100. Right, and get the users going, and we got to enhance the SaaS product. We got to sales and market the you-know-what out of it, right? And we got to get it out there into the marketplace, and that's really what we're raising funding for. Once we have that traction, then we're going to go to the next phase, which is growth, right? Our content management platform will be in place. It'll be strong, right? A best-in-class product, and then we're going to start layering on that pipeline, because we've got that web technology, right? We've got that web delivery technology, and that platform is going to be our network. So phase 2 is the build out and the growth via a network.
Are you willing to share how much you're looking for, and of course, what kind of deal you're going to offer to
Sure.
investors?
Yeah, absolutely. We're out there talking about it already. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and it's not a lot. We're looking to raise $500,000 as this first. We won't even. It's very early funding, so we're looking at a convertible or a safe. I mean, we're just looking for that quick early funding to get to the place where we're going to raise the larger round of funding. And that's what we're looking for right now, just to get us there for the next 12 to 16 months. That's, we've got an evaluation of about $5 million, so you can do the math. That's kind of where we're at. We're just kind of keeping it reasonable, keeping it straightforward. Our projection is hitting $52 million in 5 years, and that's based on the subscription model, right? And then we've got some lookalike models of some of the other platforms that are out there that we're modeling as a basis for that. We think it's very achievable in 5 years or less, and that's just for content management. That's not including the distribution. So, that's kind of our trajectory.
What kind of an investor are you looking for? Are you looking for specific investors with connections?
Well, preferably media. Media background would be awesome. Digital media, mobile, all that would be fantastic. Anybody with even connections in the industry would be awesome too, in terms of brands, agencies. Agencies would be huge. We've been talking to a couple, 2 big brands and 1 big agency that also have venture divisions, and they're going to be there for the Series A. They don't, we're too little for them now, but we have had conversations about once we get to that Series A, that's where they play. And they've already expressed an opinion, that they want to at least take a look at it when that time comes. And it would be nice to have a group of investors that can act as somewhat like advisors and know that industry. That would be helpful, I would think.
Earlier we interviewed another founder. His name was Still Guilford.
Okay.
And his company is, I believe, AsterianDB. And he has a technology that allows to stream directly from a database.
Okay.
So it's an interesting technology. I may try to connect you two guys, so you may find a common ground.
That's fascinating. Yeah, and anybody in augmented reality, we're finding partnerships. One big opportunity we have, which we're really excited about, is we're working on a partnership within the automotive sector that will allow us to be able to carry an asset library of 360-degree content of nearly every car model that's out there, exterior and interior, and then we can use it with our platform, develop all kinds of interactivity with that, choose your color, choose your model, all that kind of stuff, that can go out to all kinds of, the 20,000 dealerships that exist in the United States, something like that. So that's kind of what we're looking at, those kind of opportunities.
All right, so I usually ask my guests at the end of the interview if they can share with us like a funny story with your co-founders or while you were developing the product. Do you have anything like that to share with us?
Yeah, we do actually. It's kind of funny. So this, what you see here, was an accident. So back in 2014, I actually had gone to Consumer Electronics Show, and at the time, I was touring it like I do every year, and I came across the booth, which is about the size of this room, wasn't that big at all, and they had some interesting new media stuff, and I sat down. It was virtual reality, and I said, oh, this is kind of cool. It was the first I had seen of it, and everybody's been waiting for virtual reality, right? It's like, oh, finally here, right? And it was actually pretty good. Well, that booth was Oculus.
Oh,
yeah. And about 3 months later, Facebook bought them for $2 billion. And that's when we kind of woke up and we said, okay, that's where we're going. And we shifted, right? So we jumped in 2014, 2015, we jumped into virtuality, one of the first ones to jump in, and we started developing for it. We created some of the original content for the Oculus platform. We were creating the processes, the editing software. We had the cameras. We were going out there. I mean, we were definite pioneers in that. So I was watching one of our developers go through this process of taking the phone, put it in, take it out, and then eventually I looked over and he was just doing this, fixing the phone, this. I go, stop. I go, do that again, and he did this. He did exactly this. He was doing this. He was QAing it just with the mobile phone.
Without the
headset. And that was the aha moment. And then we said, look, what are we doing? Right?
Yeah.
At the time, there's probably maybe 100,000 of these at most. And there's almost, almost now 2 billion of these. Yeah. So we're focused on the wrong thing. So we took all of our technology, we pivoted over to mobile, and we thought that would be the way in which to go. That's where the scale was. This isn't going away, this is coming, but it's going to take a few more years.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
Probably, yeah.
So that was kind of the big, that was kind of a funny situation. We're like,
that is.
Yeah, right?
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So the main product was kind of side effect of whatever.
Of the original focus, right? Because we were developing for VR. We thought, and VR is awesome. Yeah. VR is going to be big. I know it's going through taking some hits right now, but everything does.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine. It's
any,
going to do a
any
lot.
New technology,
yeah. It's going to be like the video gaming. Would it take 10 years for the video gaming community to take off? So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on Startup Bright.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I hope we can meet again in about 6 months to see how we've developed, and you can show us something even more cool than this.
That would be fantastic.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.